Wrestling.com. This is Bill Apter. Welcome to a special edition of Face to Face right here on One Wrestling. And my guest today, he's been called a hurricane. He's been called Shane. He's been called Greg. We're going to find out exactly what the real deal is tonight. Hurricane Gregory Shane Helms, welcome to Face here on OneWrestling.com.
Well, thanks for having me there a while, Bill. It's been a while.
So we got to find out now so we don't get tons of mail. What is the name? Is it Hurricane Gregory Shane?
It is everybody either calls me Helms or Hurricane. I mean, if you're talking just like out of work, it's always Helms or Hurricane. My name is Gregory Shane Helms, but
Okay.
I
So
was
now,
Kid Vicious for about 6 years of my career. So you
yeah,
got that. You
yeah.
want to go back further? You got
Go
Sugar
ahead.
Shane. Forget Sugar Shane.
Sugar Shane, remember that?
Personally, my friends call me Shane. It's either Shane or Helms, and everybody in the business calls me Hurricane. Fans
Okay.
find
Well,
that strange that we call each other by our gimmick
but
names.
but yeah. But the character names, that's amazing. I look at Hogan. How many people really call him Terry? They usually call him Hulk.
No, and I know Triple H, we call him Trips.
Yeah. The
Uh,
Rock is just The Rock.
yeah, just right. But
Yeah, I mean, you
I don't
feel kind of
but
intimidated going up to him. Hi, Dwayne. I don't
I
know. It
don't
just doesn't sound right. Doesn't sound right. So, we brought you on here tonight for several reasons. First of all, to update people on what you're doing these days.
well, I still wrestle all the time, especially 2013 is going to be jam packed. 2011, as most wrestling fans know, I was in a pretty serious motorcycle accident. So I
Yes.
spent that was in May the 5th, Cinco de Mayo of 2011. And so I've been recuperating from that ever since. And that's going to be an ongoing procedure or process, I
What
should
would
say.
tell everybody in case they don't know what your injuries were from that?
I had 180 stitches around my mouth. My face is kind of looks a little bit different than it used to. I'm not going to be in Cosmopolitan anymore. Um,
Really?
yeah, I actually was in there one time, but no more.
I
Um,
didn't know that.
my lip was almost pulled off. My throat was cut from the chin strap of the helmet. I got a bunch of stitches in my face. My head was split open. I was literally bleeding to death on a soccer field,
Oh
uh,
man.
like a dummy. It was all my fault. Make no mistake about it. But aside from that, I almost severed my left foot. Broke both the leg bones right above the ankle, and the foot was completely smashed. Uh, the doctor said like a bag of potato chips.
Wow.
And I asked him how many breaks did he think I had. He goes, too many for me to count. And
Really?
so
Really?
there was a worry if I would ever walk again, um, if I would ever walk normal again, and a huge possibility that I would never wrestle again. So and like I said before, it was Shane Helm's fault, and I think a part of that, I would love to have somebody else to blame it on,
Yeah.
just because of when you're an intelligent person and you do something so stupid, it's just humiliating more than anything. I don't have
Well,
anybody to blame it on but me, but at the same time, that might be what's made me work so hard to come back from the injury.
yeah, I mean, I've known you almost from day one when you started your career, and I always knew you had that great drive about you. There's a lot of guys in the wrestling business, they just want to be in it, but that that inane drive to succeed and come back like you did, where you're able to wrestle again now. I mean, that's fantastic. We applaud you, really,
Oh, thank you very much.
really. So, we were talking a few weeks ago about another man who, unfortunately, is not as fortunate as you are, and this is a gentleman by the name of Chuck Coates. Chuck was a former wrestler, WCW. I think he worked for WWF quite a bit a few years ago as well, and he's had some very severe problems, and you're involved in. Chinlock for Chuck, which is going to
Uh,
be a benefit, correct?
Correct. There actually is some good news. He has beaten it for the second time. So he has
See,
defeated
that's great.
him.
Well, let's go back and first of all let's tell everyone um, uh, where this benefit is going to be, what date and where, and then let's rewind and go back to the story here.
Okay, it's very soon. It's next Tuesday, January the 15th. in Durham, North Carolina, and Northern Durham High School is which is Chuck's high school where he graduated from, which is
Yeah,
why we chose that venue as kind of
right.
a coming for Chuck. Um, the list of talent on the college is out of this world, and we'll get to that. But to talk about why we did it, Chuck had Hodgkin's lymphoma twice,
Yes, yes.
and this is a guy that has not only family, but he has foster children he takes care of. He's that type of guy. Just a great heart, and
Oh, I remember him very well. I mean,
dude, yeah,
great
yeah.
guy. Yep,
He's
great
he
guy.
did a lot of the enhancement, whatever, the local stuff. But as far as on the independent scene, as Mad Max, he was known really well in the Mid Atlantic area.
Right.
I mean, he got to wrestle Andre. That's
Yes.
something. Yeah, he's got on me with that one. I'm a little bit jealous of that, but just a really great guy. And my old tag team partner from the Omega days, Mike Maverick, approached me about the idea about doing a benefit for Chuck, and and my part of the deal was just to get the talent, and it kind of actually was the easy part of the job in one way because all I had to do was kind of put word out, and I had all these guys volunteering.
No, I
Uh,
understand both Jeff and Matt Hardy have,
Yeah, the main event is actually going to be Matt and Jeff are going to be teaming together for the first time in years
yeah,
in
yeah,
an eight-man tag with myself and Cowboy James Storm, and we're going to be taking on Gunner, also from TNA, C.W. Anderson, Steve Carino, and Lodi.
yeah,
And,
yeah. Boy,
and
what, I mean, what a great match. I mean,
yeah, we kind of we had ideas about doing like maybe Matt and Jeff just as a tag, and myself in the single, and James Storm in a single. But we had literally so many people volunteer to do this show that almost every match is either a tag match or a three-way dance or something like that. We just, we didn't want to say no because so many people were volunteering their services, and it's like so many people love this guy. It's
well,
ridiculous.
people are going to obviously pay at the door in advance and tell us where all the funds go for this cause.
Oh, 100% of everything is going to Chuck's financial bills.
Great,
Anybody that's ever dealt, I mean, obviously the economy's not where it needs to be for any of us.
right.
But if anybody out there that's ever dealt with cancer or know somebody who does or has went through it, the medical bills are just through the roof, and he's had it not once but twice.
Gee.
So that's mainly what it's going to, just to keep this guy and his family afloat because
How young is he?
he's just over 40. You know,
Yeah, so he's pretty young. He's pretty young to be going through something like this, but he's got all the love and all the fans, and I want all of you that have ever uh, watched a wrestling show, whether it be one of the big ones or one of the independents, to make sure that you get out here. People like Shane Helms and the Hardys and James Storm and so many other guys are pulling to help Chuck Coates. And more importantly than them getting into the ring and battling to help him to help pay his bills is you. Now, is there a website set up for this?
yeah, it's a chin lock for Chuck and chin lock. The hold,
Yeah,
the word for, not the number, the word for FOR, and Chuck is his name.com, and you can make donations there. Uh,
great.
there's a Facebook for him, chin lock for Chuck. Everything is kind of chin lock for Chuck, and it's, we've had people that wanted to buy tickets in lieu of donations and stuff like that, or make donations, I should say, in lieu of tickets, and that's worked out fine. And a lot of actual wrestlers are going to be in the crowd, guys that we just couldn't fit on the show, and we was like, guys, just come.
Oh,
And
so
I
this is great.
actually,
You don't know who's going to be there.
yeah, I
That's
almost was
great.
like, we got so much talent. I'll sit out if need be. I was going to take myself out of the game and just go sit and watch, but I guess it was Chuck wanted me to be part of the show, so and that's totally fine for me. That was why I volunteered to do it, was
It's
for
going to
him.
be a great event. It's going to
It would be neat
January
to
13th.
sit in the crowd again. I haven't been able to sit in a crowd at a wrestling show in 12 years at least. The
Wow.
last time I was in the crowd was Rockin' Hogan in the Skydome.
That was a while ago. That was
Yeah,
a
I
while
snuck out,
ago.
hid my hair and everything, and
See, now you got me on another topic here because that was one of the great events of all time where everybody thought that Hulk was going to get booed the hell out of the building there and The Rock was going to be, the favorite here. and it completely turned around, and both of them were totally shocked.
And the atmosphere was just amazing.
I know, I remember. But Chinlock 4, Four, Chuck, correct?
No, for FOR.
FOR,
Yep.
Chinlock, FOR, Chuck.com.
Yep.
Okay, is the URL. Go there, send in some, send in a donation because it's going to be to benefit this terrific guy and his family. And when us people in the business all need each other, we band together. And now we're coming to you, ladies and gentlemen, to ask you for your help as well.
Yeah, I know me personally. Every piece of merchandise I sell that night, every autograph picture, Polaroid photo op I do, I'm giving 100% to Chuck. Just
Okay,
that one's gonna be
so
totally.
what I'd like to do with you is a few days after that show, let's come back on here on Face to Face and talk about everything, all the great stuff that went on. So once again, that's January 15th, 2013,
Yep.
Tuesday, and we ask all of you fans to please go to the website if you can't be live there at the show and donate to this great cause. One other thing we didn't discuss, though, is you have become, and there are a few wrestlers out there like Colt Cabana, Adam Pearce, I was just talking to the other day, that have really gotten into social media. So why don't you tell us what you're doing? Because not everybody I know knows about your show.
Uh, well, actually, I was the first guy on MySpace, the first wrestler on MySpace. I go
Were
so
you
far now.
really?
My MySpace profile used to be linked for my WWE profile.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was one of the first on Facebook, the very first wrestler on Twitter. I was trying, and this is a funny story, and some fans might hate me for this, but I was trying to get WWE to plug my Twitter when I was there, and they wouldn't do it. They didn't know what Twitter was, and I was
Yeah,
explaining it, and they wouldn't. But sometimes they don't listen to the talent, sometimes, and some third party person will come in and tell them the exact same thing, and they'll listen to
and
them.
it's like every company. It's not just
Yeah,
them.
but yeah, I'm on Tumblr now. I mean, I went to college for computer programming. While I
Right,
was doing
right,
indie
right.
stuff.
I remember that.
So I've always kind of had my hands in that little world. I always kept, try to stay a little bit ahead of the curve. That's how I did the apps. I knew the apps were going to blow up. I
Yeah,
got my Shane Event app,
yeah.
the I'm a Wrestling Fan app. And actually, that's what I do now. We just made an app for Lizard Lick Towing, one of True TV's biggest television programs. We
Really?
just developed the app for them.
Yeah.
Several more in development. You know,
Oh, this
trying
is
to
great.
make a little money with my fingers and my brain
Oh,
instead of
yeah.
landing on my head.
But tell
So,
everybody where about your show.
Highway to Helms was something Jeff Katz, who you may know, it was a producer. He's done films like Wolverine, Freddy versus Jason, Superman Returns, whatever that
Oh,
last one
yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah.
When I got my release from WWE, he reached out to me to do a wrestling MMA type podcast. He knew this, excuse me, what I was good at, and he wanted to do video, didn't want to do audio, and we were both in agreement with that. And as you well know, with your show and doing the Skype, technology only goes forward.
Yep.
Any of the problems that we might have with video now, and I know you got some because I get them too, is going to get better. And I just knew I could develop this podcast that would be different. And, it gets wild sometimes. We throw a party sometimes, but we try to do wrestling, of course, MMA. I'm a big follower of MMA, boxing. We get into social issues, the gun thing in the past couple of weeks. We got into
Yeah,
that pretty.
yeah.
Me and my co-host, we have different guests. I prefer guests in studio, but if I can do the Skype when I can, and I've had MMA guys. I've had Derek Brunson, who just made his UFC debut. Beating Chris Lieben. I
Sure.
had Stephen Bonner a couple of weeks ago. You know, uh, just trying to have fun. I got actually a couple good names in hip hop I'm gonna have recently, and that I'm huge fans of, and that's gonna be really wild for
You
me
are
because
you are a huge fan of hip hop.
yeah, that's what I grew up on.
I did well. I want you after this, and I plug this almost every segment. I want you to
Uh-huh.
go to YouTube,
Uh-huh.
and I want you to type in Bill Apter raps Moon River.
Moon River.
Yeah,
Okay.
Bill Apter raps Moon River. You'll see it. But where can people go to find your show?
ShaneHelms.com has all the links for everything you need,
Okay,
and
okay,
my Twitter at ShaneHelms.com. I always throw the links up, but you can go to iTunes, type in Highway to Helms. we just did over 2 million downloads. We broke the 2 million download mark for
Wow.
Highway to Helms.
Wow.
And we actually, it was a funny story, good news and bad news. The hosting service that we use supposedly was unlimited traffic. Well, that unlimited traffic, as subscribers to certain cell phone companies know,
Yep.
unlimited is only unlimited to a certain limit. As
Right.
strange as
Right.
so once we broke that 2 million, I guess download mark, we got booted. So we're now in the process of transferring some of the old episodes to the new hosting service, and
Got it.
we just uploaded today the first one on the new server, and that's with a local promotion in North Carolina. I was trying to help these guys out do some stuff, and yeah, but go to iTunes, Highway to Helms. I
There
put
is
it
highway, the number two,
the
correct?
number two, Highway to Helms. There's a
Right.
stairway to heaven, but there's a highway to Helms.
Yeah.
Um, And I put it on YouTube as well. And my YouTube channel is also Shane Helmscom.
Okay.
YouTube.com/Shane Helmscom.
All right.
And
Check it
take a,
out, everybody.
yep.
And we will talk to you again probably in about a week.
That sounds perfect, man. Thanks for taking the time, Bill.
Thank you, Shane Helms. See you on January 15th.